I fancy myself a bass player. In fact, sitting right off here in the studio, I've got two of my basses sitting right there. And here's what's funny. Whenever I hear a piece of music, my ear doesn't go to the lyrics, even though they may be, great. And people talk about, oh, this song is so great because the words, not even the melody. My mind and my ear automatically go to the bass line because the bass is what holds the song together. You can't have soaring vocals or blazing guitar solos, but you can have those. But if the bass line drops, the whole song feels empty. The bass is the steady rhythm that makes everything else possible. Hey everybody, this is Dr. Dwain Woode, and that's what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about rhythm. We're talking about consistency. We're talking about that thing that we do, because the bass line may not be fancy all the time, but it is the thing that holds. Everybody depends on. It is the humdrum. It is the constant. It is the underlying. It's the thing that's going. It is consistency. And that is what helps us go where we need to go. And tonight, here, we're talking about what is that all about? And how do we use it? Just like that bass line, just like that thing that we're listening to. How do we stay consistent with our health? Not the drama of the finishing, not the power of the start, but just being able to do what we need to do because the rhythm is there. That consistency, that is what rewires us, rewrites us. That's what helps us to get to where we need to go because of our health. Hey, if you're new to me, I'm Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living, that's right, we're living limitless lives. Welcome to our show. Wherever you're joining us from, whether that is on LinkedIn or TikTok or Facebook, of course, here on YouTube or on Twitch. Thank you for coming through and hanging out with us. Special shout out to our accelerator members who are out there who are hanging out with us. And wherever you're from, go ahead and drop into the comments where you are joining us from, what state you're in here around the United States. If you're coming from another country, we want to know that as well. And if you are here because you saw our content at your church, or you heard me speak at your health fair, or you saw this at your doctor's office or somewhere else, or someone else invited you, thank you for coming through. Special shout out to our folks from Atlanta Berean in Atlanta, Georgia, to our folks from Riverside Chapel in Nashville, Tennessee, and the Magazine Street Church Temple there in Louisville, Kentucky. And then a special shout out to our folks from Trinity. So we were out at your health fair just this past weekend, actually just yesterday. So thanks for coming through and hanging out with us. We got some good things that we're going to take a look at here as we get into our show. Of course, I've got my monitors off to the side that we're going to take a look at. I've got my Dexcom Clarity, and I've got my my Keto Mojo so we can see what's going on with my blood sugars. Let me go ahead and pull those over. So I've got those here. And then, of course, right below me there is my Dexcom Clarity Report. We'll say hello to our community members as we get throughout the episode tonight. And I'm so excited because we are, y'all, just days away from our Blueprint series. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Just days away from our Blueprint series. As we are talking about here, we've been working from play your own game, and we're heading into the installation, the things that we are setting up as the pillars, the things that are going to take us where we need to go. And here we're doing this bridge, finishing strong. And that's what we're talking about. That's why we've been talking over the last several weeks about our consistency. We've been talking about discipline. We've been talking about the rules that write our results, right? So all of those are in preparation as we get ready to jump into this new series that's coming up, our Blueprint series. So you want to make sure that you are joining us. If you are new to us, or even if you are here, one of our regulars, you are also aware that we've made some changes on the YouTube channel. We've got 2 playlists that are out there now that you can take a look at. The first one is called Start Here, and Start Here allows you to come to the channel, jump in, and of course get started right away, right, without having to try to figure out where things are, right? If you just get to the Start Here playlist, that Start Here playlist will take you through the videos, the pillars, the conversations that we have, the things that are pivotal for your journey. So make sure that you get over there and that you're paying attention to that. The second playlist that you will see on the channel is one that says this week's videos, and those are all the videos that we're doing this week. And right now there should be 2. Yeah, this should actually, why don't I do that? Let's go over there. So here's the first one, the Start Here playlist, that walks you through all those videos that are pivotal to what we do. If you want to jump in and get started, say, hey, how do I do that? That's where those are. And then, of course, here is this week's videos, and there's a little what's happening this week video that I do that tells you what's happening as we go through the week. And then each of the videos for the week will show up here. This is the one that we're doing right now, and so that will be there when we're done. Okay, so make sure you get over there and go through those. We are in the process of not just getting ready to do our blueprint series, but also we are redoing or getting into the next phase of our 100-day walk or move campaign, I guess I should say. 100-day move campaign, metabolic optimization via exercise. We did our 100-day walking to consistency and health. We did our 100-day strength, strategy, and mindset. And we're getting ready to launch the third component of that as we get into the next 100 days. So come on out and join us. That should be starting here in just a few days. So pay attention to that as we get into it. All right, so why don't we go ahead and let's take a look. Let me get rid of this here off my screen for a minute. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at what's going on with my blood sugars as my monitors are saying that. So let me get rid of a few things that are here on my screen so that we can start fresh. Here we are. And so, right, you're seeing right now, this is my Freestyle Libre, and the Freestyle Libre right now says that my blood sugar is 100. And if you scroll down here, right about here, you'll see what my blood sugars have been doing over the last several days, or last several hours, last 12 hours. And I put my finger over there, I can scroll over, and you see that's been running in the 100s, 90s, 90s, 90s. This is what's been going on today. Spiked up there about 127 was the highest that I saw there. And then back down up to 115, and then down to where we are right now. Okay, if I look at this graph, and this, I love this because I can get to see the reports, right? So let's start with time and range. So for the last 7 days, you'll see I've been in range 69%, and then 25% low, and then 6% very low. So when these numbers that you see down there at the bottom, the red ones, which are low, those are usually while I'm fasting. So if you've been following us over the last couple of weeks, you've seen that, as a matter of fact, the last couple of days before our fast, you saw that the blood sugars stayed in the below 100, or below 70 actually, for most of that day. Okay, so 69. If I go to the 90-day average, I'm in target 86% of the time, with 14% being low. And then, of course, if you add those together, that gives you 100%. Looking at my average blood sugar for the last 7 days, you see this number right here. So average blood sugar is 87. And then this one breaks it out into the different times of the day. And you'll see there right around between 12 and 1 is the lowest that I see there. So 81 is what the average usually is that time. So anywhere from 81 to 96 is the highest that I see in that case. And then if I go to the 90-day average, you'll see once again 89 is my average for 90 days. And then down here it gets broken out into the different times of the day. All right. All right, so let's get rid of this one, and then let's go over, and I just changed my Dexcom, so let's see. All right, so it's finished warming up. So let's take a look at the last 24 hours, and so my blood sugar right now is 141, and then if I go down here and look at the last 24 hours, so we've been in the 130s, 140s, 130s, 120s, 117. And so this was, okay, this is today, right, over the last, and this is 24 hours, by the way, okay? So this is what's been going on over the last 24 hours. And then right in here today, this is lunchtime. Let's see, what time is that? Where's lunch? That's this morning. And then lunch was right in here somewhere. There we go. So lunch, we went up to about 120s, 127, 129, 137, 140, and then coming back down over the course of the evening. Okay, so that's where we are. And then let's go ahead and take a look at what my Keto Mojo and my contour are saying. So come over here, and for this one, I'll need come over to this view here. So 131 is what the Keto Mojo says. 123 is what the contour says. And of course, right there is what the Dexcom is saying right now. And as you see, that one is different. So right now the Libre is about 99, and so about 120 to 130 points different between the two. Wow, that's a pretty big one, right? All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to take this out and get the strip in. There we go. And let's go ahead and get this started. So what do you think my ketones are going to be, right? So blood sugars are 130, and let's do an average, right? So maybe 130, 123, 140, and 99. So let's say it's 120, 130. What do you think my ketones are going to be? All right, so the ketones are going to be low, which makes sense because right now I'm not fasting. I'm not doing a fasting mimicking diet, and I'm not doing a ketogenic diet. So that goes right along with what we would expect for ketones. Remember, ketones that are less than 0.5 are considered normal. So low or anything lower than 0.5 considered normal. So right now normal. And then 0.5 to 1.5 considered nutritional ketosis. And then above 1.5 considered therapeutic ketosis. All right? Okay, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at what's going on with my actually blood sugars. And so here we are for the last 14 days. Blood sugar is 121. As my average, we usually tell people between 100 and 120. Here, my time in range is 98%. And my glucose management indicator is 6.2. So if I were to get an A1C based on these numbers, 6.2 would be what I would expect my A1C to be. And the range is anywhere from 70 to 180. Okay, 70 to 180. If I change to the 90-day view, so for 90 days, the last 90 days, my average blood sugar is 116. So as you see, so the last 14 days has been higher than the last 90 days. My time in range is once again 98%, time in target being 70 to 180, and my glucose management indicator is a 6.1. So I'd expect it to be a 6.1. I can't call it an A1C, but it's a surrogate for the A1C. Going over and looking at what's been going on blood sugar-wise over the last several days. So here we are. We're going to go backwards from where we are right now and kind of scrolling backwards, 150, 160 right here in the afternoon. Let's see, right here is lunch. So we ate lunch right in here, right? And look at that. It took quite a while for that to spike up to where it is, right? So what did I have for lunch? I had a hamburger, salad, and some chips. Yeah, so that's the chips right there. Those were nachos. There you go. Okay. Coming into the rest, going backwards now into the early rest of the day. And so down here, look, notice this, that we're 4 o'clock, we're at 1 teens. And then woke up. And that one said low. That one is probably because I was sleeping. And so sometimes when you sleep and the sensor loses connection, it'll just read low. So that number right there where it says low, I don't trust that because the numbers around it are not low. Okay, so sometimes you'll see this where it goes low, and you'll just have to kind of interpret that in context with everything else that's going on around you. And so right there, so we're in 110s, 120s, and so woke up, brushed my teeth, and there's my toothpaste effect once again. Look at that. So we started out in the 120s, so if we jump up from 120s by 20, 30 points, that puts us here. So had we started down in the 90s, it would have jumped up to maybe 120, 125. All right, so going backwards, now into the day before, so 130s, 120s, 140s earlier in the day. And so we were out at the health fair, right in there, hanging out, 120s, 130s. So for most of that day, we hung out in the 120s into the early morning. Let's see, started out in the 130s and then popped up to the 140s. All right, so look at that. And then into Saturday, and so Saturday was, let's see, what happened Saturday? Saturday was a, what did we do Saturday? Oh, I was producing a show on Saturday. And yeah, so, yeah, Saturday, my mother-in-law's birthday. That's what it was. Yeah, there you go. So that's food. That's birthday party food, y'all. Look at that. Cooking. So I cooked, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. And so that's all of that. So happy birthday, and all that stuff. There you go. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, and then here is Friday, and so Friday night we were cooking. As a matter of fact, I was up Friday night. We had some stuff go on that we had to take care of. So here's where we broke our fast, right in here, and then we ate, and then we went out, and so we climbed up into the 130s, 140s, and then got to cooking, and that's what you see right in here. Okay? Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and let's say hello. I see some of our community members out there. Let's go ahead and say hello to you guys. And I see Pamela. Let's see. We want to do this one. There we go. Let's go back. Just one thing. Let me do one thing here really quickly. All right, here we go. And so, so Pamela is saying hello. Hey, Pam, thank you for coming through. She said hello all. And then Teresa says, hi, doctor and everybody. What's up, Teresa? And then Bowie says, hi, Pam and Teresa. And then Grace, hey, guys. Hey, what's up, Grace? Let's give Grace a hand clap and some music for coming through and hanging out with us. Thank you for coming out. And then Bowie, she said sound went out. Okay, which sound? Let's see. Can you guys hear me now? Let's see. Let's make sure. Okay, there we are. I'm hoping you can still hear me. She says sound went out. She says, hi, Grace. Hi, Bowie. Pamela says no. No sound? Okay, hold on. Wait. So I've been talking this whole time, and you guys have not heard me. Let's see. Let me go. Let me go back here for a minute. All right, can you guys hear me? Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Pamela says no sound. Gemma says howdy all, and then Steve says hello. So yeah. So if you guys can hear me, okay, good. So Pam said we can hear you. Good. All right. Because I was just going at it, y'all. I was just talking up a storm. All right, all right. So yes, so that's what's been going on. Thank you guys for coming through. Thank you for being here in this space. Okay, so Jennifer says sounds been on. Hey Jennifer, how are you? Thank you for coming through and hanging out with us. Jennifer's gonna share with us all the stuff that she's eating from her garden. Hey Jennifer, it's getting that time now. So are you still getting good stuff? I mean, a lot of stuff from your garden. Yo, how long does that stuff keep going? Jennifer has an amazing garden. So, all right. So let's go ahead and let's have our conversation as we talk about what we're doing tonight. Fascinating conversation. So let's go ahead and let's do that right now. So let me tell you something about myself. Something a little personal. And I mentioned this that my mother-in-law's birthday was recently. And so we were celebrating, and so my job was to make jerk chicken. And as you know, I do jerk chicken, I do curry during the week. And let me tell you, jerk chicken isn't about rushing and shortcuts. You've got to prepare right. First, you season the chicken, well, clean it, season it. There are the spices. We've got the jerk seasoning. We've got the garlic and the onion. We've got the salt and the black pepper. Of course, we've got, and I put some special seasonings in there. I'm not going to tell you, no. Some smoked paprika. And so you do all of this, right? And you get the smokers, because I smoke mine first, and then I finish it up in the oven. And I always use a specific type of seasoning, and it brings out a distinct flavor. And you've got to let it smoke just right. As a matter of fact, recently I was telling him how long to leave it in the smoker, how long to put it in the oven on broil, and then you turn it over, and then what you sprinkle on it, and then of course you got some lime, and you kind of squeeze it over there. And there's this seasoning that we found that I'm not sure how we've never seen it before, but it just adds just this right flavor to it. You see, the flavor doesn't come from intensity. It doesn't come from turning the heat all the way up and hoping that it cooks faster. The flavor comes from consistency, from respecting the process, if you will, from trusting the rhythm, from doing the right things, the right steps at the right time, in the right order, for the right amount of time. And you build on those. And that's exactly what this concept of consistency is all about. And that's what we're going to be talking about. The power of consistency, why small wins become big results. Just like the smoker delivers flavor when you trust the process, your health delivers transformation when you set up rhythms that sustain you. And that's what this is going to be. That's what we're going to be talking about. This consistency. Just like that smoker. Can I be honest? Last week, I decided I wasn't going to use the smoker. I put everything together just like I normally do. And I forgot what was going on. And I said, well, I can do it just as well in the smoker. Now, I'm going to tell you, it tasted good. but it wasn't the same. It was not the same. And that is what happens when we don't follow the process. We end up with something that works, but not like we expected it to work, and not the way it should work, and it doesn't taste the same. And so let's go ahead, let's talk about consistency. And the first I want to talk about is the myth of intensity. The myth of intensity. And so I had a patient who once told me, she said, "Doc, I went to the gym and I spent 3 straight hours, but I couldn't move for days, so I quit." One time I had not been exercising, and we got a new elliptical, and I said, "Man, I'm getting on this elliptical," and I got on, and I spent about 2.5 hours just and not just like getting used to the thing, right? So I got on there and I turned it on and I was going at it, and just like this patient, for days, my body's like, "Okay, this is what you did, and this is what you get." That's intensity. And it's why so many people burn out before they ever get started. Intensity feels exciting, but it rarely lasts. Consistency transforms because it builds rhythm. A spark is good, right? Start the fire. But an engine keeps you moving. One big workout doesn't change your health, but a 15-minute walk every day does, because it's consistent. It's the daily rhythm, not the occasional push, that requires identity. It is the things that we do over and over, even though it's small. Even though you may think, "Oh, those couple of minutes is not going to make a difference." But if you take those couple of minutes and you do them over time, guess what? They add up and they make a big difference. We were at the beach recently, and I was sharing with my mother-in-law some of the videos that we do. And in one of the videos, we did a 5-minute workout. And so we were doing it together, and I've had people say, "Oh, 5 minutes," because we do our arm twists, right? We do our high knee marches, we do our pelvic tilts, we do the cross-body leg swings, and say, "Oh, those are not going to do anything." But if you do that consistently over time, guess what? It does add up, and it does give you the benefit. So as you choose your actions, this is what I want you to do. I want you to choose. What is the one thing that you can be consistent with this week? Don't make it intense. Make it something that's repeatable. Build an engine, not just a spark. I want you to find some. I want you to think about the things that you need to do. The things that set you up for success, and pick an area. What's one thing that you can do that you can, on a small scale, do over and over and over and over? Is it drinking a bottle of water that you're going to drink every day? Is it getting a certain amount of water? Not a gallon, but a glass, 2 glasses. Now you don't drink any water. Is it getting up and moving around your house? Is it going to bed at a reasonable time? What is one thing that you can do that is repeatable, that is simple, that you can build on? That's not just a spark, but something that can happen, that you can do for a long time. And here's why this matters. Every repeated action isn't just about results. It's about who you are becoming. So consistency produces identity. And here's the mantra. Every choice is a voice for your future self. I want you to get that. Every voice, every choice, everything you do is a voice for your future self. Each time you repeat your action, whether it's drinking water, like we just talked about, whether it's walking, whether it's journaling, whether it's going to bed at a better time, you're casting a vote. Yep, every time you do that, you're casting a vote. Over time, those votes add up and they shape your identity. You're not just logging habits. You're rehearsing who you're becoming. Every time you do it, the neuroplasticity takes over. And the neuroplasticity, remember, this is the connections that are happening between our neurons and the other neurons in the body. And they are building a pathway. And at first, the pathway, it's tough because everything else is conspiring. Because that's not what you're used to. There are other paths that have been cut. But every time you make a choice, every time you do it, every time you wake up early, every time you do your journaling, every time you decide that you're going to pause, every time you decide you're going to drink some water, every time you decide you're going to lift, every time you decide you're going to walk, each time those neurons are getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. So you're rehearsing each time the person that you're becoming. It's not just happenstance. And it may seem like that one choice doesn't matter, but in the series of choices that you're making over and over, it makes a big difference. So that one thing that you choose, that one action, what I want you to do is I want you to begin saying, I am the kind of person who blank, whatever your thing is. I'm the kind of person who drinks a glass of water. I'm the kind of person who walks for 15 minutes. I'm the kind of person who goes to bed at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Anyway, right? So I'm the kind of person who, whatever that is. I'm the kind of person who moves daily. I'm the kind of person who hydrates. That one sentence reframes your habit as an identity. I'm the kind of person who is making a choice to eat in a way that helps my blood sugar. The consistency, the choices you make, they are building identity. But even identities need protection. That's where consistency thrives. That's why consistency thrives when you build guardrails. And we've talked about guardrails before. So guardrails of consistency. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't debate it every night. It's automatic because there are guardrails around. So guardrails are the invisible supports that keep your rhythm steady. They're your pre-decisions, like no food after 7 o'clock. They're the things you've decided to do. They're the guardrails. They are those rules that write your identity. We've talked about that. Environments. I keep water on my desk. I've got my mug. Accountability. Texting a friend when you're walking. And let them know, hey, I'm out walking, I'm out moving. When we were doing a 100-day walk to consistency, I had a couple of guys that we would be on the phone. Okay? And we're talking, they're out, and we're in different cities, y'all. And they were out walking, and we're on the phone talking to each other. And just to keep everybody honest, it's like, okay, send me a picture where you are. Accountability. The guardrails take the pressure off motivation and they protect your daily rhythms. So you've chosen what the one thing is. You have your mantra, your sentence, I'm the kind of person who blank. And now ask yourself, what guardrails can I put around my one action this week? Maybe it's setting an alarm. Maybe it's laying out your clothes, your shoes the night before. Maybe it's texting your coach. Maybe it's texting a friend. Maybe it's getting a friend to come walk with you. One guardrail strengthens your action. One guardrail can make a big difference. One guardrail can take you to success, and the lack of a guardrail can make that idea, that action, just a spark. And when that action is respected, though, when it's respected, when it's created, when that action is repeated within guardrails, something powerful happens. It multiplies. And that's the compound effect. Here's a fact. If you improve by just 1% a day, you'll be 37 times better by the end of the year. Because it's not additive. It's compounding. So today, we're where we are. We add 1% tomorrow. That's 1%. We improve by 1% the next day, and 1% the next day, and 1% the next day. So we're not improving just on 1%. We're improving on 1.1%, and then 1 point, whatever that math is, who those math people are out there. And so we're compounding the effect. So small daily wins, they don't look dramatic. Not in that moment. You're like, well, that's not going to make a difference. But when stacked, they create exponential growth. 15 minutes of walking today by itself doesn't do much. But 15 minutes of walking today, expanded over time, consistently over time, protected over time, equals hours of logged time by the end of the year. I want you to listen to what I said. So 15 minutes today, you're like, okay, that doesn't mean anything. But 15 minutes today, 15 minutes tomorrow, 15 minutes the next day, that's an hour. 15 minutes the next day, and then the next day, and the next 15 minutes a day, it adds up over time. One mindful meal in the scheme of things doesn't mean much. But one mindful meal a day equals a shift in your metabolism. Oh, come on. One fast in the scheme of things doesn't mean anything. But one fast a week over time, all of a sudden, we have tremendous metabolic benefits. Writing your actions down creates a rhythm. Journaling tonight, today, tomorrow by itself doesn't mean much, but journaling over time, learning, putting that into your practice, making that your bookends. Journaling in the morning, right? Journaling at night. What an amazing process that becomes a tool that you use over time. So that one thing that you've decided that you're going to do, you've now identified as the person who does that. You've now created some guardrails around it. And I want you to begin tracking it. I want you to track that one action this week. Even if it's just a check mark on your calendar, check mark in your journal. Watch how those check marks start compounding. There's the story that's told, and Jerry Seinfeld was asked by a young comedian, how did he get so good? And he said he just wrote jokes. He wrote jokes every day. He wrote jokes. He wrote them. Some were funny, some weren't funny, but he just wrote jokes. When you think about some of the greats, basketball players, golfers, football players, baseball players, the first shot doesn't mean anything. The first time you hit a ball, not a lot. The first time you swing a golf club may not mean much, but over time, compounded over time, and tracked over time. Come on. Watch how those check marks start adding up. And you know what? When I see a check mark, oh man, I get excited. The dopamine comes out and I'm like, oh, let me do that again. So we begin building the process by getting the wins by doing. Oh, did you hear what I just said? So when you do that one and you see that check mark, when you look back and you say, man, look at that. I did 2 days of that. Then your brain says, we like that. We like how it feels because we completed something. Let's do another day. And then another day. And then another day. But here's the key. Compounding doesn't mean perfection. Consistency is built on return, not flawless execution. Oh, come on, come on. Consistency does not mean perfection. Here's a mantra I want you to get. Consistency is not about never missing. It's about never quitting. Because you're going to slip. Come on. You're going to slip. I'm going to tell you. If you think you're not, it is going to happen. You'll miss a day. That's not failure. The real win is the return. Here's the rule. Never miss twice. If you miss Monday, come back on Tuesday. That return builds trust, and trust builds confidence. So never miss twice. So if you slip on your one action, so you've got an action now, you've identified yourself as the person who does that. You've put some mantras in place. You're tracking it. And now if you slip on your one action, immediately name your return step. What's the next way that you'll reset? Okay, I missed today. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I didn't eat the way I thought I was going to eat right now. I'll do that tonight. I didn't walk this morning. I'll walk at lunch. What is the next thing you're going to do? What is going to be the way to return? And that's the heart of consistency. Not perfection, but it is persistence. So here's your takeaway. All right, you ready? Get your journal. You're going to choose one small, repeatable action to practice daily this week. Drinking water, walking for 15 minutes, 5-minute circuit on your strength training, going to bed on time, mindful meal. What is it going to be? You're going to protect it with guardrails. You're going to let it compound. You're going to identify as the person who does that. I am the person who, and then you got to understand the consistency isn't about perfection. It's about the return. It's about what we do. It's about how we show back up. And our rule is that we never miss twice. When you say consistent, you build confidence. And that confidence, right? That confidence that you get, oh, it builds more Consistency. And we stack it day after day after day. And that's how you write the story of your transformation. One step at a time, one day at a time, one action at a time, one consistent movement at a time. And when you do that, you are playing your own game. You are finishing strong. And you are becoming consistent because you are now writing the history of the person you're becoming. Oh, come on, come on. This is it right here. When your future self looks back, your future self gets to say, right there, we started not doing anything, or we started not doing much, but we kept at it, one step at a time, one rep at a time, one meal at a time, one restful day at a time, one at a time, consistently. And even though we may have made mistakes, we showed up and we did it the way we were supposed to do, and we are proud of ourselves. And that is why consistency leads to wins. All right, so LLG family. So tonight we've seen that it's not the intensity that transform you, right? It's not the big start. It's consistency. Small daily wins, protected by guardrails, compounded over time, and reclaimed after setbacks. That's how you finish strong. That's how you keep going. That's how you show up. And I'll tell you, a lot of times, the reason we don't come back is because we didn't plan to. We didn't plan to get off track. We also don't come back because we have not identified as that person. Oh, that's I was trying that thing. It just didn't work for me. But no, I am the person who does that. I am the person who lives in this way. Go ahead, drop in the comments. What is one consistent action that you're committing to this week? I want to see it. Because your declaration here may be the very thing that encourages someone else. And this may be the accountability that you need. I tell you, sometimes I'm somewhere, I'm in a meeting, or I will say, okay, I'm going to do such and such. And guess what? Because I put it out there now, right? I've got to do it. But that's a good thing because it helps us with our consistency. It helps us with the accountability. Now, we are going to be talking, right? And so as we get through the Finish Strong, we're starting on the blueprint coming up in a couple of weeks. And the blueprint is based on this building that we're doing. This is the bridge from our Play Your Own Game. This is the bridge into, okay, what's the blueprint? What are those things that we are going to be doing on a consistent basis? So understanding what consistency is. Consistency and sameness is not the same. Oh, let me say that. I made this point in our Strength, Strategy, and Mindset series. Just because you can't do it the same way. Like when I'm lifting, when I'm out doing strength training, or when I'm traveling, or when we had some issues back there where I couldn't be in that space, my mind said to me, well, if you can't do the same things, then you can't do it. But I was like, no. It doesn't mean the same. It doesn't mean that you have to walk 35 minutes every day. What it means is that you show up. and you do what is available and what you can do. It doesn't mean that because you've been ill and you're off of your plan that you have failed. It means you show up and you do what you can as much as you can. It doesn't mean that because you don't cook at the house that you failed. It means that you look at the meals you're eating and you think about balanced bites because you get to make choices. People say to me, well, I have to eat what they give me. Well, not really. You can make choices within what you get. People say, well, I go to the fast food restaurant and all I could eat is what I get there. Well, that is true, but at the fast food restaurant, you could make choices. So consistency does not mean same. Consistency does not mean perfection. It just means showing up and deciding what you're going to do and how you're going to do it so that it fits into your limitless living. All right, let's go ahead and let's say hi to some of our community members. I see you guys out there. Let's come back over here. Let's see, where were we? Okay, so we were Pamela. Jennifer, sound has been said. Okay, yeah, that's where we are. Bowie says sound is back. Thank you. Hi, Steve. Jennifer says Super Saturday Eve was a roast from the neighbor's beef. Okay, carrots, onions, celery, potatoes from my garden, sweet potatoes, cantaloupe, watermelon, and kook from my garden. Okay, kooky. Am I reading that right? The entire meal. Okay, wow. Jennifer says, even the dill on the chooks. Okay, was from, okay, I don't know why that didn't register. Oh, and sliced tomatoes. Thank you, Jennifer, for adding that extra piece to make us more hungry. Gion says, hi, Doctor. Hi, LLG. Bowie says, hi, Gion. Gion, hi, Pam. Hi, Bowie. Hi, Steve. Hi, Jennifer. Everybody's saying hi. Hello, Gion. Hi, Teresa. Happy to see you again, all. So that comes from Gion. Jennifer, thank you for sharing yet that amazing supper you had. I had to move this to my phone so I could get to the chickens. Okay. 9 eggs today. All right. Wow, great. Let's see. Bowie says, I will walk around the neighborhood daily. Okay, so Bowie is telling us what she's going to do. Come on, come on. Yeah, drop it in the comments. Drop it in the comments. When meal is ready, I will eat, not eating while preparing. Oh, I love that one. So, Gian, okay, should I join you with that one? I don't know. Because I taste. Okay. I'm not, yeah. That's a good one, Gian. Yeah, yay. Okay. Beyonce, I was binging last Sunday. My stomach almost, so she was eating a lot. She says she's ashamed to share. Well, we're glad that you are sharing, Gian, because that is so amazing. So remember that whenever you're here in this space, right, and you're sharing your story, I want you to know that your story, the successes, we love the successes, right? And when we see successes, we know that if you can do it, Gian, then we can. If Bowie can do it, then we can. If Steve can do it, Jennifer, Teresa, Pamela, if you guys can do it, then we can. We get encouragement from that. But you know what also encourages me? When I know that I'm not by myself. When I know that, hey, I'm struggling in this particular thing, but there's somebody else out there who's they may not have the exact same struggle, but they're having some challenges as well. So don't think that just because you are not doing it perfectly, that is bad and that's wrong. We're doing it, and that's what Limitless Living says, that we're showing up with our best self, our best health, and our best plan. That means whatever I've got, that's what I'm showing up with. I'm showing up with what I have right now, and that is And that's amazing. Pamela says, hi, Jennifer and Gian and Steve. Hi, Pam. Jennifer said, power in sharing, strength to move ahead. New day, new start. Love it, love it. I love that, Jennifer. I might coin that. Hey, Pam, Steve, Gian, Jennifer, Bowie. Thank you, Jennifer. Gian said, hi, Teresa. And so Gian said, I want to eat your garden veggies. Yeah. Jennifer's always having some amazing stuff, y'all. So, love it. All right, so everybody, our Triple E Formula for Success is what we do, right? This is how we teach. This is how we think. This is how, whenever I'm thinking about what we're going to be talking about in the shows that we do, and the path that we are all on together. And notice what I said, the path that we are on together. Right? So when I'm talking with you, I'm talking to myself. When I'm sharing with you, I'm sharing with myself. And the education is really to adjust our mindset, to give us a different way of thinking, a different perspective, for us to understand how our body works. Because if I can understand how the body works, how the food works, how the interaction between my cortisol and my blood sugar and my insulin happens, then I can make some choices. One of the points I was making, we were at a health fair yesterday. One of the points that I made was that the foods that we eat, and we talk about healthy foods, but the foods that we eat don't affect us all the same way. We assume that just because it's healthy, that it affects my body the way it affects Jennifer's body. And it affects Jennifer's body the way it affects Pam's body. And it affects Pam's body the way it affects Steve's body. But that's not the case. We all have a different response to everything that we eat and every action that we have. I'm going to pause there because I want you to get that. And so understanding how things work brings insights that we would not ordinarily get. Understanding how our rest and our sleep and our walking and our strength training and the foods that we eat and the fasting, because our bodies respond differently to fasting. That's why the Play Your Own Game series was so important, for us to understand that we're heading in the same direction. We're heading to the same goals, but how we get there can be different. So we educate, we empower with the tools. Right? So as we go through these series, I want you to be picking up the things that we're learning in order to implement. Right? The Limitless Living Health Action Plan is the functional health arm of Limitless Living. It's the blueprint. You guys hear that? Right? So we're coming up, blueprint series coming up next. Right? It's the blueprint. It's the guardrails instead of guardrails. It's the checklist. It's the safety parameters. It's safety rails. They say, if we do this, if we follow this path, then we get what we want health-wise. And so those are all tools that you pick up, and that allows you, the stuff that we're learning, this allows you to apply those and get success. And then we encourage with the community that we are part of, that you're growing. I love this community as we share with each other. If you've not been into our accelerator program, if you've not joined our accelerator program, I encourage you to do that. Go to the website, Dwain Woode MD, click the button that says Learn More, and join us in the accelerator. We've got our community meetup for this month coming up on this Thursday. Great time for you to join us. And actually, after the show, those of you who are in the community will see that link show up in Kajabi. Make sure you get over there and join us as we talk a little bit more about this process. So we educate, we empower, and we encourage. And I am always excited when I get to hang out with you, because I am seeing such amazing benefits for you, and I get benefit by being here and walking alongside you. We will continue our trek through the week as we continue talking about consistency. Right, we'll do our check-in tomorrow as we we start our fast. So come on by. We do our pop-up right about 1:15-ish, 1:30, as you get to see what I eat for the last meal prior to getting into the fast. And then we'll do our check-ins for the rest of the week as we go through. And then on Friday, we'll do our complete review of fasting. So tomorrow we'll do our check-in. Wednesday we'll do our check-in. Thursday we'll do our check-in during the day. Those are our pop-ups. And then Wednesday night and Thursday night we'll do our live shows at 33 hours and 56 hours. For those of you in our community, at 7 o'clock on Thursday will be our community meetup. And then, of course, on Friday, we do our complete review of fasting. So come on and join us. We got a lot of stuff going on. We have our next 100-day series that's about to start in a few days. You'll hear more about that as we go through this week. Come join us. It's another opportunity for you to do something for your health. Hey everybody, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Woode with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health in your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. Now go live a limitless life, and we'll see you in the community. We'll see you through the rest of the week. Good night, everybody.